You're watching KHSC TV 16.2 Fresno. Now, from the Granville Wire 24/7 News Center, this is GV Wire TV. It's the top of the hour. Here's what's happening now all across the central San Joaquin Valley.
Here's a quiz. Which politicians saved public broadcasting in his state? Governor, now Vice President Mike Pence from Deep Red, Indiana? Or Governor Jerry Brown from the leftist of the left, California?
I'm proud to say the Hoosier State has now and will continue to find the resources to support public media efforts in our state.
That's right. One of the most conservative politicians in the country finds value in documentaries and Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood.
So Indiana supplies about $3.6 million annually in public funding to public broadcasting. The state of California provides zero annually to public broadcasting.
That's Phil Meyer, the president and CEO of Valley PBS here in Fresno. Indiana is one of 37 states to publicly fund public television and radio. Pence said why he believes in public broadcasting in a 2014 speech.
I believe education is a state and local function. I believe the state has the primary responsibility for educating our children. And I will say from my heart, through all of my life, one thing has been clear. Public television plays a vital role in educating all of the public, but most especially our children.
According to H.D. Palmer in the state's finance department, funding stopped in the 1980s under Governor George Deukmejian. It hasn't been a priority of Brown or the legislators since, but Meyer wants that to change.
Yes, I would. I think we make a strong case for that. There are other services that we provide in different languages for people not on the air, not broadcast, that a lot of people are not aware of. Workshops for parents, training, all kinds of different services that serve the public good.
Meyer says that only a portion of Valley PBS's $4.5 million budget comes from the federal government through the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. The remainder is from grants, individual, and corporate donations. So, why Valley PBS?
We're 40 years old this year. It's our 40th anniversary. We've had a lot of great local productions, and we hope to continue that. Valley's Gold, our agricultural series, will start its 5th season early next year. We have a new documentary on Japanese internment camps in the Valley called Silent Sacrifice, coming in early 2018, and more great stuff from the national producers like Ken Burns, great performances, Nova, NewsHour, etc.
David Taub, GV Wire.
Well, we got a call at Fresno Humane about the smell of something dead, and so our officer went out to investigate what that odor was coming from, and actually ended up finding this retired moving truck filled with all these beautiful little animals that were in there. After doing an inventory and a final count, it was an unbelievable number of 955 animals that were alive and brought in, and there were 18 deceased in the vehicle. We can only assume, because of the variety of animals that were there and the ages and the quantity, that they were probably going to be going out to local flea markets and swap meets, which in Fresno County is actually illegal. So when we ended up with all of these animals, the first thing was we have to get them cooled off, we have to get them fed, and we have to get water in them. And so we began the process of food and water. And of course, finding safe housing to put this many animals in a place that's comfortable. If we didn't have our Granville Animal Refuge available to us here at ACT, we would have had nowhere to put them that would have been safe. In one fair swoop, the Granville Refuge building helped us save 955 lives. So that's a pretty big deal. That's a huge impact.
You might think you'd have to travel all day to taste the best California wines made. That's not necessarily so. In fact, the wine that won Best of Show Red at the recent San Francisco International Wine Competition is minutes away in Madera at Crew Winery. Taste the wine that won the heart of San Francisco at the Crew Tasting Room. Open every day at 11 and online at crewwinecompany.com.
from GV Wire TV. Here's your first alert, no-wait weather forecast.
Hey, I'm Austin Reed, your Chief Weather Geek. Hope you're having a great day. It's midweek already. That's because, of course, Monday was 4th of July. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. We saw temperatures at the century mark Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But this week, things are cooling down. I'll get to that in just a bit.
In a compromise deal, an ARCO AM/PM will be allowed to operate and sell alcohol in a northwest Fresno neighborhood. The Planning Commission Wednesday night approved the project, which saw objections from those living in the area. But approval wasn't so simple. There were supporters.
As someone who lives in the area, I'm all on board for it. It's better than seeing an empty lot every day.
And opponents. Pratt Gill says he owns the convenience store across the street.
Allowing the establishment of this project would not only hurt the local business owners who are members of this community, but it would also impact all the individuals that are employed by these businesses.
The proposed business at the corner of Bullard and Fig Garden will consist of a gas station, convenience store, and restaurant. City staff recommended approval of the project itself, with one exception. Beer and wine sales would not be allowed. Members of the commission wrestled with that issue.
I also am concerned about the kind of over-concentration of liquor licenses in the area.
I'm really stuck on the alcohol issue.
Alcohol sales were a deal breaker for the developers.
I do want to address your question in terms of alcohol and whether the project would be dead, and yeah, it would. Alcohol sales are essential to this project for us in terms of our performa and making it work for us financially.
So Commissioner Rogelio Vasquez found a solution.
You know, I'm willing to balance it out if maybe we can adjust the hours. That might be a good possibility as well, in order to be able to make that happen. But if we don't adjust the hours, I'm kind of leaning towards not approving this thing.
That was acceptable.
I just huddled with the applicant, and they are willing to offer halting the alcohol sales at midnight, 7 days a week.
The final vote was 3-1 in favor of the project. The item will now go to the City Council for confirmation. Afterward, Serena Mann with the developers was happy with the outcome.
We're very excited about it. We're very excited about this project. We're happy that, we can move forward with it, and we're really happy.
The project could open by September 2018. David Taub, GV Wire.
Art is in the eye of the beholder, and the holder of a new art project at the Mariposa Plaza will be from Napa. City Council awarded a $200,000 contract paid for in part by a federal grant to Gordon Heather for the installation. His past work includes pieces from across the country, including this one in Albuquerque and this one in Stockton. No local artist applied for funds, hence none selected. That irked Councilwoman Esmeralda Soria.
Love to have seen our local artists actually get these monies and really, have that local connection. So that's where I was really disappointed. Why we didn't get any local artists?
We publicized it locally as well as nationally because it's federal funds, so we had to put it out nationally, statewide, and locally, and I couldn't tell you why somebody didn't.
We want to hire local artists. However, the magnitude and the scope of this work is such that many of our local artists don't have the capacity to do this kind of work.
We're not going to get that. It's an art corporation that makes a lot of money contracting with municipalities, and they make their money off the taxpayer.
Council voted 4-3 to approve Heather's yet-to-be-revealed installation. Veronique Wers, GV Wire.
What exactly is the fashion furniture experience? Well, it's over 60,000 square feet of the most beautiful home decorating ideas you've ever seen. It's Lane, Bassett, Broyhill, Flexsteel, Tempur-Pedic, Stanley, Hooker, Pulaski. All the names you know and more. The fashion furniture experience. There's nothing like it in all of California. On El Paso, across from River Park.
Kara Eames and her dog Gus are on the mend. It's time for their daily walk. The physical wounds of Kara and Gus are healing. 1 week after being attacked by a pit bull during their morning neighborhood walk, Kara cannot leave her home without taking a can of bear mace. Instead of strolls around the neighborhood in East Central Fresno, it's short walks up and down her street.
He's mostly himself and seems to be, not just physically, but emotionally, making a really good recovery here. So I'm incredibly grateful.
Kara says there have been lingering effects with Gus.
He sometimes hides in the back of the closet now, which he never did that before.
It was the intervention of a sheriff's detective who just happened to be in the neighborhood on his way to work who made the rescue. 1 week later, Kara says she's recovering physically from her bites and all-around soreness.
The actual experience was quite traumatic. The visual, the sound, the length of time that it went on. And so I'm doing what I can to kind of heal myself emotionally, take good care of myself. You know, we want to get back to walking in the neighborhood at some point, and we've so far just walked a little bit in the street, and even when I do that, I'm quite vigilant, and even though this was a really rare experience, I can tell I'm quite on guard after what happened.
The irony is that Kara is a psychologist in a private practice.
So actually a lot of my patients have met Gus, and so when they saw his picture or they saw me, they were distraught. So there's been an element of responding to my patients, current patients and former patients who have reached out and expressed concern and care. I also reached out and spoke to a psychologist who would be a therapist for me to process this too, because we are all human.
The owner in last week's attack has come forward and apologized to Kara.
He's shocked and doesn't understand like what happened or how this happened. He understands how his dog got loose from his yard, from his backyard, got loose while the owner was away at work. But the owner seems kind of just doesn't know what to make of it, and he expressed a real genuine apology for what has happened.
A spokesman from the Central California SPCA tells GV Wire that the dog will be returned later this week, pending modifications to the home and fines paid. That worries Kara.
For me personally, I don't think I could feel safe in my neighborhood knowing that this dog is in the neighborhood because of the potential for it to happen again.
As of now, no criminal charges are pending. Kara is considering her options when it comes to civil legal matters. David Taub, GV Wire.
For many years, the term business-friendly Fresno has been heard at City Hall in an effort to expand the economy. But red tape and roadblocks from a city commission is preventing one man from turning this dilapidated home into a cafe.
As a property owner, I want to be able to do the right thing and make it safe. And I would hope the city would understand that and not limit me on what I could do with it.
Eric Linval bought the home near the downtown hospital, hoping to improve the neighborhood.
And my intentions were that area was needed some upkeep, and so I purchased it with the intent that I would potentially put a cafe or something on it to enhance the value. And
he applied for a demolition permit, and during the inspection process, the city determined the house may be historic.
Apparently you cannot demolish it, you cannot alter the structural integrity of it, and so that would obviously change the inner workings of the property itself on what you could put there.
Patrick Boyd, chairman of the Historic Preservation Commission, explains what they do.
And it's essentially to assess the historic nature of structures and facilities within the city limits, really.
The property known as the Bruner home dates back to the 1920s.
The house is actually in fantastic shape for the age that it is, and it represents kind of a broader kind of a community.
Last October, the commission voted 5-0 to list the Bruner home as a historic place. A suggestion was made that Linval could use the home as a rental. The home falls in the district of Councilman Clint Olivier.
I come down on the side of property rights, and in this case, if the owner is not interested in having it be a part of that registry, then I'm going to side with that owner.
The City Council is scheduled to discuss the Bruner home this Thursday. Ro Barunda, GV Wire.
Happy 30th, Table Mountain.
You've shown us that Table Mountain loves locals, so we're here to say
Thank you for everything. Because of your support, this is what 30 years of making a difference looks like. Happy 30th. Happy 30th.
Happy 30th, Table Mountain. We're lucky to have you in our community.
because around here, the locals love you too.
You're watching KHSC TV 16.2 Fresno. Now, from the Granville Wire 24/7 News Center, this is GV Wire TV.
David Tabb with GV Wire here with the Fresno Grizzlies and Houston Astros infielder outfielder Tony Kemp. Tony, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, we've been experiencing the rare rain in Fresno. Now, for a guy who's known for his speed like you, how does a wet infield affect your speed game?
Yeah, it's a little difficult, especially when you're trying to get your leads from first base and really trying to drive off your foot. It becomes a little issue, but luckily we have a good groundskeeper here that takes care of the field, and he does a good job.
All right, so Fresno, you came to Fresno last year, and you made it to Houston, major league debut. Probably, what was it like getting the call and finally arriving in the big leagues?
Oh man, it was something that I'm never going to forget. It's all the hard work and things that you do when you're 5-6 years old. It actually pays off in the long run, and being able to be called up in Nashville, Tennessee, my hometown, and having 30 people on the pass list was something that was priceless, and I'm just very blessed and humble that something like that could happen to me.
Now, you're from the Nashville area. You went to school at Vanderbilt. Was it an easy thing? Was it a hard thing to go to school close to your hometown?
Well, actually, I was committed to East Carolina University, and that's where my brother went, and that was probably like 9 hours away from home. And luckily, I was thankful enough to receive an offer from Vanderbilt, which was 30 minutes away from home. And it was even more special because my dad could get off work and drive literally 2 street lights down, and he was right at the ballpark, and my mom could just drive up the street 15 minutes, and we were all right there in the same spot, and it was special to be there for 3 years, and I had an awesome experience.
Now, you have one big league home run, which ties you on the all-time list with Dwayne Kuiper,
Nice.
the Giants broadcaster. Tell us about the home run, just what it is to hit a jack in the big leagues.
Man, I always tell people I'll never forget it, but my friend had recently passed the year prior around Christmas time, and his birthday was the next day, and I always think about him when I was jogging the bases. I was thinking about Keaton, and when I hit the ball up into the lights, all I could see was 24, and it was one of the numbers that's retired in Houston, and he was the only person I could think about at the time, and so it made it a really special moment.
We've seen you play second base. We've seen you play center field. Obviously, Houston has a pretty good second baseman. So you think center field is your pathway to the big leagues?
Yeah, Altuve is a great guy. He's also obviously a great player as well too. And I really don't know my path to the big leagues. Whether it be play second base, whether it be center field, left field, right field, you never know when the opportunity is going to come. You just have to be ready, and you have to come each day to the ballpark with a positive mindset and make sure that you just really embrace yourself and your teammates, and you have a fun time where you are and where your feet are. And I'm having a good time here, and we've hit a couple of skids and lost a couple of games, but this team is a good team.
All right, Tony Kemp, see you in Fresno while you can. Thanks so much.
Hi everybody, GV Wire Sports Director Chris Terrence here, and if you've seen the recent preseason college football picks in the Mountain West, you know that the Fresno State Bulldogs were picked to finish dead last in the Western Division after finishing the 2016 season with just 1 win in 12 games. However, you must also know that things are looking up in the future of FSU football with the great news of the hiring of former star quarterback Jeff Tedford, who led the Dogs to conference championships and bowl games as a player. And then he turned around as head coach for Cal Bears and did the same thing, bringing that program around. The players are excited, the fans are getting rejuvenated, and the Bulldogs of Fresno State are heading into a new and exciting era. The new football season is right around the corner. Chris Terrence, GV Wire Sports.
It's that time of year when Fresno becomes more beautiful. The 46 women competing in the 2017 Miss California arrived at City Hall today, starting 8 days of events leading up the final on Saturday, July 1st at the Soroyan Theater. It is the 28th straight year Fresno has hosted the competition. The pageant's CEO, Patricia Murray, is excited to be here.
That we don't want to visit Fresno every year. We want to be from Fresno. We want Fresno to be our home, and that is the direction we're going, and we want people to feel like this is our program, that Miss California belongs to Fresno.
And what's the deal with those hats? We asked reigning Miss California, Jessica Carmack.
So this year for our competition, we had the theme of It's a Glamorous Life. So we wanted to create a new tradition this year. So for the arrival ceremony, all of our contestants are wearing big Kentucky Derby style hats. So mine is nice, big and red, and it says Miss California on the back.
The teens also have their pageant this week. Jenna Tower is the current champion, sporting a nose stud and tattoo.
I do have one, actually, in honor of my platform, the ASPCA. It was actually a birthday present from my mom, and I figured if it was going to be something permanent on my body, it should be something that I love, which is animals, and I know I'll love them forever.
There's the beauty and the talent, but Miss California says winning opened up doors to her future.
I've had this huge network throughout the year. I've done so many different events. I've traveled over 75,000 miles, done 250 appearances. So now I'm looking for my next job, and I actually just accepted an offer with a marketing firm up in San Francisco. So it opened so many doors for my career, and I'm so thankful for that.
Pageant organizers say the event brings in $250,000 to the economy. The winner competes in Atlantic City for Miss America. Veronique Wurz, GV Wire.
Hey, welcome to Deli Delicious.
What can I get you?
Grilled chicken Caesar salad.
Number 41.
You know I love that steak and jack.
Everything on that works.
Ooh, it's so hard to choose.
Let me get the 35, the 41, and the 24. Absolutely.
Number 44, chipotle chicken. Turkey, avocado, and sprouts.
Number 45, barbecue tri-tip.
I love the bread.
The meat.
The crisp lettuce. Lots of avocado. Everything. Fresh ingredients just taste better at Deli Delicious.
It's Ashley Home Store Stars and Stripes mattress event with 60 months no interest on mattress sets from Serta iComfort and Tempur-Pedic, starting at just $18 per month at the #1 Tempur-Pedic retailer in North America. Ashley Home Store, Fresno, Visalia, Bakersfield.
You're watching KHSC TV 16.2 Fresno. Now, from the Granville Wire 24/7 News Center, this is GV Wire TV.
Senator Dianne Feinstein toured Fresno County during a visit on Thursday. She started at the Terra Nova Farms in Helm.
In the Tulare Basin, it's heavy soil.
Then, former Fresno Mayor Ashley Swearengin hosted Feinstein for a luncheon attended by about 400 people, a sellout.
What's important, doing things that's good for all of the people. And you did it, Ashley, and I did it, and Lee Brand is doing it. And I think it's just so important. I think all this partisanship really is detrimental to this country moving ahead.
Feinstein talked about water and the need for both parties to work together.
The water bill in the House is the product of one party. Didn't share it with the other party, didn't have a single public hearing on the biggest bill to come before the Congress with the most impact on Americans and particularly Californians.
Healthcare and immigration were also topics discussed. Feinstein had advice for Fresno.
But you're right, and Fresno is getting better and better and better. I mean, I remember 30, 40 years ago, it's totally different. You do have something to sell, but you have to sell it.
Feinstein also talked about Trump's social media habits.
I don't think you can be president of the United States and put your views through with tweets. I don't think you can reinforce yourself just with your base.
Finally, Feinstein met with a roundtable at the Fresno Police Department to discuss human trafficking. David Taub, GV Wire.
Students, like those at Tenaya Middle School, now have a chance to pursue a career in medicine. In a first-of-its-kind program, Fresno Unified is partnering with California Health Sciences University.
We are creating a pathway that will start here at Tenaya Middle School and will continue through Bullard High School.
Board President Brooke Ashton has long championed career and technical education. He says the generosity of the Assemi family will revolutionize this new step to education.
Their children are the children of the Central Valley. They have taken their wealth, they've taken their reputation, and they've used it for the betterment of people right here. There was not 1 second of hesitation in his voice when I said, Darius, we have to do this. And he said, done. It's done.
The Assemi family founded California Health Sciences University. They also own Granville Homes, which is the corporate owner of GV Wire.
We have to remove homelessness from our valley, and we're going to do it through education. And we know that education is the most powerful tool to change this world. You folks in the education business, you do God's work.
It even brought down State Superintendent Tom Torlakson from Sacramento.
And for my 6 years sitting on the CSU Board of Trustees, I haven't seen a program as unique and creative, innovative as this program. And so we'll do everything we can to make sure the graduates articulate, work with the Health Sciences University and work with CSU Fresno so we have a comprehensive plan.
California Health Sciences University President Florence Dunn says graduates find work.
We want to work with every single hospital, rural, urban, and this is, our university really is for the entire Central Valley. Of course, we have a lot of need in Fresno immediately, so we're not affiliated with any hospital. We want to work with everybody. We have all the large community retail chain after our students. They hire every single one of the interns because they want them to stay here. And we all know Fresno is the best kept secret, right? We have a really good quality of standards and have a good lifestyle.
This is a huge opportunity for us to educate our students right here on the Valley floor. The statistics show us that where students do their residency is usually where they're hired and where they stay. So this is a great opportunity for our hospitals to hire a very diverse population.
Veronique Wers, GV Wire.
As many of you know, I spent my entire career dedicated to giving back to the community through public service, from serving on the school board in Compton to the city council, state assembly, and as reserve deputy sheriff, and also my time here in the state senate. I've always put the people of California first, and that's why I'm here today. I'm thankful to the governor for his belief that I could continue to serve and represent the people of California. And as the governor's appointee for the Agricultural Labor Relations Board, I plan to continue this important work of putting people first. Whether it is the increasing threat of climate change that is fundamentally altering our planet, and extreme weather that both impacts our agricultural industries, farms, and farm workers, or the chaos and uncertainty stemming from DC and the effects new policies could have on our agricultural exports, employment issues on local farms. There are a great deal of challenges that lay ahead of us as members of the board. I want you to know that I fully recognize these challenges and plan to confront them head on in an inclusive, methodical, and transparent way that involves bringing all parties from business to labor together in order to find commonality, build consensus, and solve the problems that we no doubt will have that will be confronting us on the board. And I hope my record of standing up, serving as a voice for working families, and also as one for business illustrates my deep desire to be fair and just and put the interests of the great people of California first. I thank you for the opportunity to present to you today, and thank you for your consideration.
Thank you very much, Senator Hall. Thanks for watching Fresno's only 24/7 news source, GV Wire TV. Brought to you exclusively by Granville Homes and now on KHSC TV Channel 16.2.